Hey there everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope everybody had a great Monday out there. I'm looking at a spectacular Monday here. We're about 68 degrees today, very low humidity and sunny blue skies. I wish I could just freeze frame this temperature right here because it's about to get really hot here pretty soon. I want to start off the week talking about plant-based diet, raw food diet, hydration, and this is an important one for both cooked and raw, so watch. Guys, I do videos every day, so if you are not already subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you go down and hit that red subscribe button now. Yeah, now. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. This video springs forth from the fact that this was the first morning that I had red for breakfast, red juice. I've been drinking my orange juice all winter, and I had bought a watermelon. What day did I buy that watermelon? God, I think I've had it since Friday. Can't believe I waited so long. Well, I was out in Pensacola on Saturday and then had some more oranges yesterday. But anyhow, first day on watermelon juice, and I'm just excited, because that was my thing last spring and summer. Now this I'm not fully into that one yet. Like it's going to take a while before the watermelons get a little bit. Although it tasted very good. I'm getting watermelons for about $6 right now, and the size I'm getting is not bad for this time of year. There's no complaints for what I'm getting right now, but it's just not that economical yet. Not like it'll be in the summer where I was getting the bigger watermelons for a good price and I was having watermelon juice every morning. But I did have probably about 75 or 80 ounces of it this morning, and I feel so good. So I thought this would be a great day to do this video from this perspective. I've talked about hydration in the past before, but I really want to share this one with you today, and I'm hoping actually you'll go share this video because I want to tell, and let me say before I even start that what I talk about in general on this channel, and for sure what I'm talking about here today, this is experiential. In other words, this comes from experience. This isn't theoretical. In fact, I'm really tired of theoretical in this raw food diet. I'm sick of hearing all this little geeky shit with big words and, oh, what do you think about this? And we're going to pontificate over this and that. I don't really care about theory, to be honest with you. I put it into practice. I put it into my body, I see how it works, and then I figure things out on my own. Now, that's not to say that when I say I'm not into the theory part, that I don't read, I don't study, I don't try to learn as much as possible. But in the end, it's got to pass the test, which is me. And I'm going to tell you something, and another one too, somebody will see hydration. I don't know a damn thing about water. I don't know a damn thing about water. No, I'm not going to do one on this. I get asked questions that people think I'm, wow, a lot smarter than I am, or actually more interested in things than I am about. Man, I get asked about water filters. I don't even know what the people are talking about. Hey, Jack, what are your thoughts on the blah, 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 water, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Structured water, triple reproductive osmosis. I don't even know the words. All that kind of stuff. To be honest with you, I don't even really like water that much anymore. I mean, I don't dislike it, but I don't know. I kind of find it boring. I prefer when I can. Now, you do what you can do. You do what you can do. I prefer to hydrate with the juices and with food. And that's what I did last summer. And I did it not just a few times. There was a shorter term experimentation, and then there was the long term experimentation. What I took from the long term was very interesting. That there's even an added effect. Number one, you feel good when you're hydrated day by day. But when you if you're like me, and if you're like most people, you don't even if you pay attention to your hydration, you don't hydrate properly every single day. You don't stay fully hydrated every single day. I did last summer, and I found something out that when you stay fully hydrated, there's a cumulative effect. You know, you feel good when you've hydrated 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and then a lot of times you'll fall off. When you stay hydrated every day pretty much for months on end, it takes you to a different level. I mean, my energy level was through the roof last summer. And part of what I want to talk to, and part of the focus of this too, is to stress that right there, that a lot of the stuff, hydration is so important until I actually felt myself fully hydrated and knew what that felt like and knew what the difference was from being not being hydrated and from being what I thought was hydrated. I was just like stunned. I was stunned. And I'm really convinced that so many of the problems that many people think they have or that they're having that come from food could come from the fact that they're just not hydrated. The digestion. I'll tell you something. And if you've watched me, you know that I'm very observant of my body. I'm very observant of how food affects my body. And I've been doing this close to 7 years now. Well, I'm very, very in tune with my digestion, and I'm aware of any changes, deviations, anything. I mean, I know my digestion intricately. And there are days, and I've noticed this before, that my digestion will slow down a little bit. And you know, a few years ago, before I really kind of knew, I would just be like, what's up with this? Why is my digestion a little bit, I've eaten this, 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 and this. And that's what it was. It was not being properly hydrated. I can feel my, you know, when I'm eliminating, I can feel my digestion slow down a bit now. Even if I'm eating great, even if I'm eating all raw, if I'm not properly hydrated. And sometimes I can just take a day off and it affects my digestion so much. Now, I'm not constipated or stopped up or anything, but there is definitely a difference. So, you know, there's just something to be said by staying hydrated all the time. And something else that I found out last summer too, that I really dig, is because I'm not good. You know, in theory, I always used to be like, okay, well, you need to just remind yourself to drink throughout the day. Put notes up to remind yourself to drink throughout the day. You know, do this, all these little tricks to remind myself to drink throughout the day. And I'm like, I don't really like that. And what I found last summer is I could basically hydrate myself in the morning and not have to think about it for the rest of the day. And I was good. And I was good all summer. And I was walking a lot last summer, if you remember. I was like a walking fool. I'd get out sometimes and walk twice a day. I was obsessed with my 10,000 steps. It wasn't so much I was obsessed with that number. It was just like I want to incorporate and I want to walk a lot. So I was walking a lot, sweating a lot, and it didn't bother me one bit. I didn't get those little kind of weird, unexplainable headaches that I get sometime. And I'm still not 100% sure if those are from dehydration or from pollen or whatever. They're not that bad, but last summer I felt like godlike almost. Sometimes I just had so much energy that I would eat some fat at night just almost like to do some drugs and bring myself down, because after eating all the raw food and then staying so hydrated, I was just like so full of energy. I mean, I was about to burst. So I would definitely recommend like making sure you're hydrated, and watermelon juice is the best way to do it. It just tastes so good. It's like, I have to slow myself down. The watermelon juice is so good. Like, I really make a conscious effort to slow down and enjoy it a little bit more in the morning. But the best way to hydrate, right there. And that's what I was doing last summer. That was always my first. Well, you know, you'd have a day where I'd go out of town or something and I didn't get to do it, but it was always the juice first. And I mean, I was going pretty big. I was generally drinking, most of the time I was drinking around 96 ounces of watermelon juice. Sometimes a little bit less. Sometimes I'd go a gallon if I really had a big watermelon that day. But I was drinking a lot of watermelon juice for the very first thing. Then I would wait a little while, give that a little bit of time to settle. And then my first meal last summer was almost always a mono meal of mangoes. So I liked that, eating, you know, getting it from the food, getting it from the juice from the watermelon, getting it from my fruit. I just feel, I don't know. I feel like it's just more, somehow it's different. Being, even if you're fully hydrated with water, it's just different being fully hydrated with juice and fruit and natural like that. Now, one thing I would tell you too, as I was talking about the cooked yesterday. Oh, and one thing I should mention, I just want to mention how this affects cooked versus raw, the hydration, a few thoughts on that. But I was happy with the response to some of the cooked food stuff yesterday, and I just wanted to let you know I'm going to be doing a series with more cooked stuff over on the blog, which you can always find in the description below. And also too, for any of you people that are eating cooked plant-based, this is a great magazine right here. And if you're not eating plant-based and you've stumbled in here, great magazine, has tons of recipes in it, comes out about 4 times a year. But okay, cooked versus raw when it comes to the hydration. One thing I do find is, even when doesn't matter whether you eat cooked, don't eat cooked, whatever, this is a fact. Cooked food will dry your body out more so than the raw food. I see it. I can be fully hydrated. Maybe that day I'm eating cooked food, and normally I wouldn't necessarily need to be drinking or whatever in the evening, but I find myself a little bit thirstier after cooked food. So that's important too. Now, number one, if you're hydrating like I'm talking about here, you're going to be okay. It might just be something more like a dryness in your mouth, if you eat the cooked that day. But if you're hydrating like me, you're probably not going to have to worry about it. But for the average person that's not taking care of their hydration on a regular basis and is not good about that, it's very important when you're eating the cooked food that you do need to hydrate a little bit more, because that cooked food is drying to the body, and that's no lie. And that's not me throwing any, obviously I eat some cooked food. I encourage you just to eat a healthy diet. But that's just a fact right there, is the cooked food is drying to the body. I guess there's a few things that are not. I mean, if I'm eating just something like just greens, steamed, like if I'm eating squash or just something very mild like that, but anything else. And yes, I do feel a little bit, okay, now I'm thirsty at night. Otherwise, I'm never thirsty at night. Never, 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 never thirsty at night. Mouth might get a little dry. I might sip just a little water, but that's about it. But now is the time, and you can do an experiment just like me. And if you do it all throughout the spring and the summer, you'll see. You will see. I'm telling you, stay hydrated every day. And like I said, I don't care, if you're a water guru or if you're a water expert and I don't have time for those conversations. I think those are the most asinine conversations, because they go on and on and on, and you got this water expert that wants a triple reverse osmifying blah 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 machine, and no, that's horrible, you need spring and blah blah blah. I'll stick with watermelon juice and eating the fruit and my little Brita filter, which I know isn't all that great, but I just have my Brita pitcher for the water I do drink. So anyhow, stay hydrated. You're going to feel so much better. You won't get those little headaches that you tend to get in the afternoon. So just do it. Hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.